in terms of video calls and why they can be pretty handy if you're not using them already, I'm sure Peter knows all about this already, but for those of you who don't, there are many reasons why video calls are useful, both to patients and to you. And so from the patient's perspective, it's often easier for them to have a video call because they either can't travel or won't travel. So if they're looking at different COVID tiers, for example, and they don't want to go from one high risk to a region to another, or maybe they just, legally shouldn't, they don't have to. Likewise, back in, the normal world pre-2020, it may just be that they live in a totally different part of the country. No, the charming red-haired lady is Christine, who I believe that "oh dear" comment was a bit about that for the video there. I'm not sure she was expecting me to show that. So yeah, that's just her playing around with the video system. Actually, we're just testing it out a few months back. So regarding distance, sometimes it's just someone doesn't want to travel a couple hundred miles. They might know that you're the perfect specialist for them, but they don't want to make that travel. Telemedicine. In terms of things like mental health, of course, you've got social anxieties, whether that's something more usual or whether that's something like agoraphobia. Person might feel just totally uncomfortable with traveling and getting to you. And it might be the whole reason they're visiting you is because they want treatment for that. So makes perfect sense to start with a video call. Same if they're limited in mobility. I mean, if you're in a wheelchair, for example, the last thing you want to do is go across the city, even with help, to visit the doctor if you don't have to. And of course, again, it's all to do with convenience. Even if there's nothing wrong with you physically, or you live right next door, it's still going to be convenient, more convenient that is, to click a button than it is to even walk across the road. And of course, often it's cheaper as well, because the overheads associated with video call tend to be lower. You don't necessarily need to hire out a room in a practice, or you don't necessarily have to have a physical premises. You could, in theory, do it from home as long as you prepare properly. So the overhead's hugely less, and therefore you can offer a lower price for the patient if you want to. And of course, it's not all about how patients benefit, because it's good that they do, and it plays well for you if they do. But at the same time, what you really want is to benefit yourself as well. And that's sort of what I've been going through really already, in that in Medesk in particular, making a video booking is literally a click button exercise. You can turn any booking into a video booking just by clicking the button to say that it's going to be now online instead. You can have the video link sent automatically as part of all these automated reminders and confirmations and everything. And if for any reason an online consultation looks like it's not going to go ahead because someone hasn't turned up, or even if a physical consultation looks like it's going to end up in a no-show, you can actually say, well, look, here's a link, here's a text message, that's the link you need, and they can use that. And because it's going to the phone number that you've got registered as belonging to the patient, it's going to the right person automatically. And there's no risk for any accidental messages being sent out, because you can only message the patient by a given number. You can't put in the number manually after you've put it into the record. And the same applies actually for things like cancellations. It doesn't have to be a last minute thing. It can be someone's cancelled because they don't want to visit, or they can't visit. And what you can say to them essentially is, well, okay, you can't visit now, but if you still need help that soon, why don't we do a video call instead? And it may be that that's enough for them. May be suitable as well. And you may actually end up being completely based on video with that particular person. Depends on how it goes, I suppose. And of course, the patients can access the video in a number of ways, whether it's the link you've given them, or whether they log into a patient portal with their phone number and a password, one-time password that is. They can do that. We release new videos every week. Hit that subscribe button to learn how to grow your practice faster.